Let me start out by saying this is not a top 10 list, there just happens to only be 10 future creatures of Primeval. Here is the definitive ranking in my opinion. Number 10, the Camouflage Beast. Where do I start on this beastie? Several factors stop me from liking this one. Kind of feels like a Future Predator ripoff, and it kind of fits the Future Predator's description better than the actual Predator, according to Helen.
It has human levels of intelligence and an almost supernatural ability to stalk its prey.
My main issue is the Camo Beast fundamentally breaks the concept of Primeval.
We didn't want spooky old churches or ghostly houses and things. We wanted something that felt really, really modern.
And finally, it sets a precedence of how the show is not going to tell us what animals it's evolved from, or how it got its invisibility, or like, was it man-made, or did it evolve naturally? We just don't know. Number 9, the Future Maggot. It's a maggot, but bigger! It may or may not be related to the Megaopteran life cycle, but it doesn't appear to be, since there's little Megaopterans. But if it is, I'd put it higher up on the list, but just as its own maggot, it's number 9. Number 8. The Future Beetles. Again, this is the same beetles but bigger. However, this time we get a bit more focus on how they behave differently to modern beetles, so being more of a colony and working together unlike the solitary beetles of the present day. Number 7. Future Bird. Now, I want to like this big bird. It's set up quite well in the novel Shadow of the Jaguar, but then it's never properly described. Like lupine shadows, etc. is all we get. It's left up to the reader's imagination of what it looks like. Being the influence for historical gods is great. Being able to mind control weaker creatures is great. Only using the creature in 1, 2.5 scenes in the novel is not great. Also check out the Hypothesis video about the Future Bird by my good friend Ancient Realms. Number 6. Future Fungus. So can Primeval sue The Last of Us for stealing the fungus creature? Anyway, my thoughts on the fungus is, it's okay. Like, I'm not a big fan of Contagion stories, so it's not to my taste. The fungus creature is like visually unappealing compared to the other creatures. However, it is supposed to be disgusting, so I can appreciate the dedication of trying different original ideas. Number 5. Mer creatures. Say an average creature, though being an evolution of an ape or humans, and being marine is a cool nod to Dougal Dixon's book After Man, Zoology of the Future. The texturing and colour by Darren Hawley is gorgeous, as are all his works. I definitely prefer its final design over the walrus-like concept art. Masters of the Water, and definitely well utilised to their full potential in their debut episode, though when the mer reappear in the Series 2 finale you can definitely see their limitations on land. Number 4. Giant Burrowing Insect. Similar to the mer, this is like an average creature, but it's well utilised in its episode. Like, aside from the flappy anus mouth parts, I like the bulky burrowing body of it. Possibly evolving from cricket moles or similar. Unfortunately, we're never told. It's possible that this creature was based on the unused concept of the ladybird flea hybrid. Cool reuse of ideas if this is true. More on this soon. Number 3. The Future Shark. This is a simple yet underappreciated design, because sharks, if you look through prehistory, you can see that they've hardly changed their overall shape throughout the millions of years. So it makes sense that it looks like a shark still, but with the addition of the tongue and the extra spikes, it just makes this so interesting. This is a creature we didn't get to see much of, but that awesome practical effect with the autopsy scene leaves me craving for another appearance. Number 2. The Future Predator. We can all agree that the Future Predator is one of the first creatures you think of when you hear Primeval. This is the creature that started off all the subsequent future creature appearances. The design is iconic, the overall shape being bat-like but not, with the wingless arms and the claws, and the bat-shaped skull yet being oddly human at the same time, yet not at all since there's no eyes, making us uncomfortable as we don't know where it's looking or what it's thinking. An awesome design by Darren Hawley, and I'm glad they didn't use the future reptile concept. The Series 1 finale is the definitive future creature episode. Nothing can top it. You have intrigue, discovery, and an epic battle between old and new. While the Future Predator in its prime will always be my personal favourite, I feel that the overuse in Series 3 and the clone plot and the lack of super speed and the later misuse in Series 5 tainted my overall enjoyment of it, making it number 2. I would rank the Series 3 predators in the middle of the list and the mutated predators near the bottom if I was to separate them. Before we get to number 1, let's have honourable mentions. The Future Bird Flock. These little buggers appear in the background of Series 3 Future, and that's it. We don't know any more information on them. We don't even know if they're actually birds or not. The second honourable mention, all the runner-up creatures from the Create Your Own Creature competition for Series 3. It's such an inspired idea to let your fans have influence on the show. You have the Ladybird Flea Hybrid, Dunkleodon, Draptosaurus and Mandarin. All these designs are original and creative, and I'd love to see them in the show one day. Except for Chaos. Chaos killed Claudia Brown. And the number 1 is, you probably guessed by now, yes, the top feature creature in Primeval is the winner of the Create Your Own Creature competition, the Megopteran! Created by Karim Nahabu, who was 16 at the time, and he got a special tour of the making of Primeval Series 3, the lucky bugger. As I said, it's such an inspired idea to let fans take part in making their favourite show. The Megopteran is an interesting interpretation of future ants, wasps and bees. You can definitely see the base shape whilst being different enough at the same time to be its own thing, and that ovipositor will scare anyone. You can see the development of this creature being brought to life in the Genesis of a Creature short on the Series 3 DVD, with Darren Hawley's redesign and gorgeous texture patterns. Seeing the development and everything about this just worked for this creature, making it my number 1. Understandably, you'll all agree with me, so don't feel the need to comment below.